Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And amid all the gentleman's agreement drama of the last couple of days, some spicy words have been said on stream last night, especially from Methodz to Crimsix, talking about his success post-retirement, and also some words on Hydra's contract, bigger than Crimsix's has ever been in Call of Duty history. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it, really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Maybe some optimistic takes here from Doug, we'll see about that. Quick note as well on Cloud9 Halo. Thought this was definitely worthy of mention here just because of what this means for Call of Duty and other esports really. So Cloud9 released, surprisingly, their entire Halo roster yesterday. Very successful and excellent Halo team. So what does this mean for Halo esports, but also what does it mean for Cloud9? Just because we've seen really that, you know, let's say TSM with FTX and Cloud9 with blockchain.com, which apparently they signed a deal back in February, has not gone particularly well for them. And there's some rumors circulating that if Cloud9 indeed did go pretty hard on this deal and was relying on this for a lot of their kind of revenue generation, and now it's gone down the pan over the last couple of weeks, it's not looking so good for Cloud9. So yeah, I don't know, maybe that's part of it, but also like what does it mean for Halo in general, just because like obviously Halo haven't run their esport as well as they could have done given the game that they had straight out of the box, but also some of the players on Cloud9, it's not like they've got the biggest personalities, right? OpTic are winning things, but also they've all got big personalities on that team, they all stream and do content, so OpTic Halo will not have a problem generating revenue. But even the fact that Cloud9, one of you know, the best teams, is not able to make it work in Halo. In COD, I think there's more money to be had in general, and also the system in COD is different because the teams have actually paid money and they've got big ownership and investor groups generally. But yeah, don't hold out hope anytime soon that Cloud9 is going to get into Call of Duty, and probably more on stories just like this over the coming days. Quick comment here on the map set as well. Exceed says, hear me out, Shoothouse search and destroy over Fortress. Who says no? So this is the question that I raised right when Shoothouse was coming in. Look, it's a public match map, there's no denying it. It's designed to level up your guns quickly. It's one of these classic, it's almost like Shipment but slightly larger. It's kind of like a Nuketown-esque type thing. Never should be a competitive map. However, compared to some of the maps we currently have in this game, Shoothouse actually might be viable. Clayster reckons Shoothouse is the best map we have. So this is the thing, is it possible that it comes in? Could the pros actually make this happen? And well, this is Fortress for example, right, where there's, well, some serious issues. Now I think we saw, if you guys remember, way back in Black Ops 4, the map Seaside. In the beta, it was there was no outside section. So you know, like the first control point you would capture on Seaside, you go down the stairs into that control point. There was no outside lane on the left or the right there at the outside of the map during the beta. And actually, it was Round 11 Stats who suggested to add that in, and the track guys listened to the feedback, added it in, and made the map play a lot better. Similar thing could be had here on Fortress. Now look, Infinity will get to listen to any feedback on this. I doubt it, but JP Chris from OpTic says, what if on Fortress you added another lane? So instead of having to go through these really tight choke points, you added another way in to the back of the map, which I think makes a lot more sense. The map design is begging for it to be done, but yeah, they just don't do it, right? So yeah, what do you guys think about this as a potential solution to Fortress? And this is where this whole map editor, in theory, would likely come in. But I don't think the map editor, if it ever does arrive, is actually good enough to make anything like this happen. Like, maybe it would be viable for a map editor to make this happen if this element of the map already existed and there already was a connection here, and then you could just open the doorways and change a few things around to make it happen. And just because they haven't included it in the game as it stands, that's probably not going to happen though. But yeah, Fortress is not a great map. It looks like it should be a good map, but the reality is it doesn't play particularly well. And some pros want Shoothouse in instead of this. So I don't know about that one. It's a very small map. Like for 4v4, maybe it could work. Search and destroy, who knows? I think it should be considered. At least it's symmetrical, and it probably won't play terribly compared to some of the other maps we have, but maybe I'm wrong about that one. This real quick as well from Octane as another classic glitch here, it seems. Not sure if this is a glitch or what's going on, but we might need to GA not just potentially the M4, but also the snipers are gone, but also this spot here. So as you can see, this is London playing against the Los Angeles Thieves in a scrim here on Hotel, and Octane is laying on the floor. Octane's already got 2 kills, and seemingly can't be killed, or there's some sort of glitch here where he's like somehow half in the grounds, and it's difficult to kill him. So as even as, you know, apparently there's a shoot through the stairs bug. Yeah, just laying on any staircase looks like that. So if you lay down on a staircase, this is what happens, and it's really difficult to kill you, but you can get 3 kills. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Should this be banned? Should this be outlawed? Should the pros say, you know what, you're not allowed to use that? Because if you are allowed to use that, then things are going to get pretty spicy when the first major comes around. Because we've seen plenty of times, even the last couple of seasons, pros use something which is on the verge of being a little bit unfair, and things kick off on Twitter. So yeah, stay tuned on that that one. So with all that gentleman's agreement drama going down, Najop was streaming with plenty of players in the call. Zuma was there, and also Crimsix was there, Sasha was there, others were in the call as well, and we'll see a funny clip at the end of the video actually of one player that wasn't in the call, but you know, Najop thought he was. But quickly just on this, because at the New York subliners, we heard that when they were coming into the league, there were some other names considered. I think we've heard 2 of these names before. The Pizza Rat is just hilarious to me. I've no idea why they thought that was a good idea, but yeah, thankfully the Pizza Rat wasn't chosen as the New York name. The Neon Kids is just absolutely disgusting, but I mean, I'm pretty sure hopefully that didn't make it past some of the first stages. Of course, they're New York Excelsior writers, their Overwatch team, so I guess they wanted something kind of similar, but none of these are similar. The other one that is I don't think we had heard before is the Rose Guards, which isn't absolutely terrible, but it's still not particularly good. So I have no idea what they were thinking with some of these names, but these were the initial kind of draft that the pros were given that were going to join New York, because they had a lot of money, and there were some big name players. I think even Simp and aBeZy were briefly linked to the New York situation. So I mean, yeah, imagine if they were called the Pizza Rats to this day. Like, how out of place would the Pizza Rats look compared to some of the other teams? But I mean, yeah, the Pizza Rats, honestly, I don't know, maybe this logo's kind of fire. Man, that would have been a crazy timeline. But there were some other things going on during this stream last night. A couple of clips I wanted to share for you guys. One of which from Methodz to Crimsix, because of course Crim is now retired. He was having his thoughts as well on the difficulties of getting a spot last season and all this. And of course now he's gone into doing content and stuff. And you know, Methodz was roasting him a little bit for this actually, saying that, oh, he only gets 40 viewers and stuff when he does his iRacing streams, and maybe it's not been so easy for Crimsix in content as maybe he was hoping for when he made that transition. But also some words from Crim on Hydra's contract on the New York subliners themselves, because we heard some rumours that it was, you know, potentially second highest paid player in the league after Scump, and the players still seem to think that that's actually true, and Crimsix is mind-blown and arguably kind of salty that Hydra is getting paid that amount, and that was more than he ever got paid in his career in terms of a pure salary. Even when he was on Dallas, I think he said he was getting paid 380, which is, I mean, yeah, 380k a year from being a COD pro, it ain't too bad, but it's actually not what Hydra's rumoured contract was.
Pick the rule set as variant.
You're a good friend, Tony. You're a good friend, Tony.
No, my bad, Tony. My bad, bro.
I wonder if anyone will play it.
Misery loves company. I won't stoop down to his level. Maybe he needs to start dick riding, because those 40 viewers he does while racing are pretty
Yo, now we're talking like man.
Poor.
Yo, believe it or not, I actually got on release day. I actually was sitting there like, bro, I got more viewers on iRacing, dude. Trust me, you don't want to come down to this level, dude.
Release days, a lot of people.
It's irrelevancy.
What the hell? I have 50 viewers when I play Warzone. What are you trying to say?
Are really trippy, bro.
Monetary value, not to.
Bro, can we talk about how Paco got a bigger contract than I ever did? And he hasn't streamed once.
That's kind of crazy.
He doesn't even post on Instagram.
Wait,
he doesn't even tweet sponsored.
He got one of the biggest contracts outside of probably.
He literally got a bigger contract. He's probably the second highest paid player.
Yeah, never won.
Who's his agent?
Of it just baiting.
Oh, he's a good agent.
He's his agent. He's a good one.
So what do you guys think about this with Methodz and Crimsix, right? Of course, it's, you know, to some degree playful banter between the two, but, you know, the two of them have had their fair share of back and forth so for the last couple of years. It's interesting for Crim, though, right? Because when he did retire, he mentioned in his retirement video, and this I thought was still funny, to be honest, that, you know, he was kind of concerned, or he was scared about going into the content world because it's definitely not easy. If you look at Crimsix's Twitch tracker, we'll see you in a second, over the last few years, like, when you're on OpTic, it's just, you know, it's free clicks, right? I mean, everyone's loving you. When he was on OpTic, it was great, and I think he found it kind of jarring in a way that when he was on OpTic and streaming and getting thousands of viewers every stream, then when he left OpTic, went to Dallas Empire, all of a sudden those people just disappeared, right? They weren't there for him, they were just there because he was on OpTic, basically, which I think Crimsix found kind of surprising maybe in a way, but maybe he's not really surprised at that looking back at it. So when he retired, he was like, okay, well, I guess it's content time. There was, okay, Crim could have some other options. Look, having Crim on the desk would be absolutely outrageous, but it would be pretty funny. And I do wish the CDL in the future gets the OG pros more involved. Like the fact that Crim, the greatest of all time, and Scump when he retires after this season, also in that category, are just going to sit there and stream and the CDL never talk or tweet about them again. Like that seems unlikely. To me, I think Scump's retirement might have to catalyze some change there, because we have seen other esports be successful with co-streaming. And look, the idea that you can get Scump and Crimsix to co-stream certain matches would, I think, be massive for the scene, and something that also the CDL should consider keeping Crim around the scene, even though Crim thinks that he's got pushed out by certain individuals in and around the scene, maybe from the CDL themselves, who knows. But this was Crimsix's Twitch tracker just to look at here. He actually just went offline, even though when I first brought this up a few minutes ago, he was still streaming, so he's gone late into the night. But these are his numbers over the last, month or so, average 650 viewers or so. But, some of this is iRacing and these other games that he plays and has a good time on. And in the last week, he's averaged 931. I think he had some, top viewership here, almost 8,000 views, I think maybe in one of the tourneys or one of the Warzone things the other day. So, I think Crim's doing okay. He's getting some good follower numbers. He's obviously streaming an awful lot per month. You guys can see here, like, his performance over time when this is back in, I guess, the OpTic days, May 2018, averaging almost 5,000 viewers, but he wasn't really streaming much at the time. But, and then, this month he streamed more than he really ever has done before, and he's still top 0.003% of Twitch. So, Crim's doing fine. It's okay. Like, as Methodz is saying, maybe Crimsix's numbers aren't, like, absolutely crazy like you might expect, but I still think he's doing okay, and hopefully it's working out for him over on the content game. The other clip, though, of course, was on Hydra. Now, I'm not actually sure if this is the case anymore, because I know we heard these rumors going around that Hydra was going to be the second highest paid player, who was going to be right behind Scump, basically. Scump, I don't know how much he gets paid, but it's 500 plus. It's probably more like $1 million, to be honest, because contracts and content deals, I don't know what Scump earns, but it's number one. We know that for a fact. Now, the second highest paid player, we don't really know who it is. We've heard rumors about, I don't know why this isn't loading, but I'm not going to share the audio of the clip anyway. But Ben said it on stream that he'd heard rumors that, he was going to be the second highest paid player in the league when, because New York were offering a massive bag to stay. But of course, LAG, OpTic, these deals then fell through for Hydra. So I do wonder if that deal actually became a reality. My understanding is it didn't, and this 500k deal for Hydra actually didn't turn out to be true in the end. So, I don't know, but that's just what I've kind of my understanding. But maybe the pros have a different idea, or maybe they've heard differently, right? And actually this deal did go through, and Hydra did get the 500k back. I mean, Crimsix doesn't seem too happy about it, right? Because, Crim and Hydra had their fair share of drama last season, and now Hydra's the one getting paid the absolute super max, and Crim is sitting there, doing the content stuff, and as Methodz says, maybe, struggling to pick up the same traction, even as he's saying, like, Hydra doesn't even tweet anything, doesn't do any Twitter posts, doesn't make any content, and he's still absolutely balling out of control. So definitely enjoyed your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Thought it was pretty spicy. Just to mention this then, so this is CDL Scrim&Tel's power rankings, relatively similar to what we have seen so far from the coaches. I think this is based on his own personal perceptions, what he's heard, stuff like this, so relatively similar. But let's talk about it, right? So Thieves, he's got number 1, Ultra number 2 actually above FaZe, which is pretty interesting because the coaches gave FaZe number 2, but as I say, often FaZe kind of gets this benefit of the doubt with the coaches just because they've smoked them all in scrims the last few years. So I wouldn't be surprised if FaZe aren't actually the second or the first best team right now. But still, he reckons Ultra above FaZe. Then Surge, pretty interesting. Then Legion, right? Let's go Vegas, baby. Top 5 again. Boston, then OpTic. So having Boston this high is interesting to me because I would have probably put Minnesota here in my, in what it should be theoretically. But apparently Boston are pretty good. So they're up here in 6th right now. OpTic in 7th. And in fairness, Ronnie, the guy who runs this page, is an OpTic fan. So he's probably going to try and put them low to ensure that, the bad juju man doesn't come to bite or whatever. But, this is also what the coaches said. So yeah, if OpTic don't start out the season well, it's really not a good sign because they usually start out the season well. Then Rokkr 8th, then the bottom 4. And I think 2 of these bottom 4 were very evident coming into the season that Florida and London were probably going to be down here theoretically. But even Los Angeles Guerrillas, right, he's got 11th, and then New York being the 9th. And to me, the 9th spot is the most interesting because, I think as it stands, Mutineers, London, and probably LAG will be in this category, at least with their current rosters. But the 9th spot that doesn't make champs, and maybe LAG do make some serious changes and make champs, but it's going to be really interesting who falls into this category here, especially because only 8 teams can make it out of the groups at the Major 1, right? So plenty of these teams are actually not even going to be there going into bracket play at Major 1, which probably already thinks, okay, well, maybe roster changes need to happen. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll finish out with this hilarious clip from last night between Methodz and Agent on stream, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Good now, yeah.
Damn, I didn't know you guys were this deep. I was just sitting there on the timeline.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know
pulled
what?
up to get jumped, bro. Like, what's up?
Yo, yeah, I think so, right?
Yo, Nate.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, bro.
Who is that?
Fred, bro.
Oh, what's up, man? Did we meet in real life?
Yeah, oh yeah, LA, bro.
Is that Methodz? Hey, bro, at least the competitive Call of Duty goes away, man. You still have something.
We got him. We got him. We got him. Oh, no, I was laughing. I couldn't take it serious, dude.